Okay, so exercise 3 after you read on page 103. Okay, so letter A, scan the blog for Eden's activities. Match them with the dates. Okay, so what I want you to do is make a question for each date. Okay, and since the answer is an activity, what question word do we need to use? Who, what, when, where, why, or how? Okay, so for activities, we use the question word what. Okay, so remember, how do we make a question? We can say, we can use the the question word what, and then the helping verb. So in this case, the subject is Eden, so that's third person singular. So we have to use the helping verb does. What does, or actually, this is all in the past because it's a blog, so it's a journal of what happened. So we actually need to use the helping verb did. Okay, so what did, and then the subject, Eden, and then the main verb, and remember it's an activity, so the main verb is do. Okay, and then of course we need to add the date. So what did Eden do on Monday, September 15th? Okay, and now from the listening, she used just the numbers like 9:29, 9:25, and that's okay, but I want you to practice saying the dates in the date form. So Monday, September 15th. Okay, so practice making those questions and then match them with the answers. So I'm going to give you some time to do that. You can pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay, so let's look at number 1. What did Eden do on Monday, September 15th? Okay, so the answer is she's been telling everyone about her job search. Now, actually, if you look at letter D, it's present perfect continuous tense. So if you remember, we learned present perfect continuous tense in lesson B. So that doesn't match with the question, which was past tense. And that's okay, but if you want, you can make the question match the tense of the answer. So in that case, how should we make the question? Let me give you a few minutes, or not a few minutes, just let me give you a brief moment to make that question. Okay, so instead of what did she do, we can say what has she been doing? Okay, so what has she been doing? All right, so we can say she's been telling everyone about her job search. Okay, so if you want, you can add on Monday, September 15th. Okay, and then number 2, what did she do on Tuesday, September 16th? Okay, and we can see that the answer is she went to a job fair. She went to a job fair on Tuesday, September 16th. Number 3, what did she do on Wednesday, September 24th? Okay, and the answer is she organized her papers. Okay, so letter C, she organized her papers on September 24th. And then number 4, what did she do on Thursday, September 25th? Okay, the answer is letter A, she had a practice interview with her classmates on September 25th. Okay, and number 5, what did she do on Monday, September 29th? The answer is letter B, she had a job interview on September 29th. Okay, so let's take a look at exercise B. Check your understanding. Now, this section is very academic, so we are going to practice making longer sentences and practice using evidence from the text and also restating the question. So, for example, number 1, what is the main purpose of the blog? Okay, so we don't want to just say to record her job search process. We want to make a complete sentence, so you can say the main purpose of the blog is to record or journal about her job search process. Okay, so I also restated the question. I said the main purpose of the blog, and that's called restating, is to record or journal her job search process. Okay, so I did the first one with you. So I want you to take some time to finish this exercise and remember to make complete sentences. Okay, so pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Who did she network with? Okay, and if you look at her first entry, she says, everyone tells me that it's critical to network, so I've been telling everyone I know. I've been calling friends, relatives, and teachers to tell them about my job search. Okay, so you can say she's been networking with, or actually the question is past tense, so you can say she networked with her friends, relatives, and teachers. She networked with her friends, relatives, and teachers. Or you can also say she networked with everyone she knows. She networked with everyone she knows. Okay, and then number 3, how did she get a job interview? How did she get a job interview? So if you look at Tuesday, her job or her entry on Tuesday, you can see that she went to a job fair. So you can say she went to a job fair, or she went to a job fair at her college. Or you can restate, oops, I don't know what happened here. Okay, there we go. You can restate the question and you can say she got a job interview by going to a job fair at her college. So you can say she got a job interview by going to a job fair at her college. Okay, and then number 4, according to the blog, what is a good way for Eden to prepare for the job interview? So if you look at Thursday, September 25th, she says, I'm going to have a practice interview with some classmates today. That will prepare me for the real one. Okay, and of course, in this case, one is referring to the job interview. Okay, so let's answer this question. According to the blog, a practice interview is a good way for Eden to prepare for the job interview. Okay, so again, according to the blog, a practice interview is a good way for Eden to prepare for the job interview. Okay, or you can also say, a good way for Eden to prepare for the job interview is to practice with her classmates, or to have a practice interview with her classmates. Okay, number 5. In the Wednesday, September 24th entry, which word means discouraged? Okay, so if we look there, okay, you can see that she says, I've been feeling depressed. So we can say, in the Wednesday, September 24th entry, depressed means discouraged. Okay, so depressed means discouraged. All right, number 6. Based on the most recent blog post, what can you assume about Eden's job interview? So the word assume means to guess based on the evidence you have. So we can say, you can assume, or we can assume that Eden had a good interview based on the most recent blog post. So Eden had a good interview. And if you look at some of the things that she said, like she gave the interviewer a big smile and a firm handshake and you can see the word confidence here. She answered her questions with confidence. So we can assume that Eden had a good job interview. Or we can say, we can assume that her interview went well. Okay? So now let's look at exercise C. Build your vocabulary. Okay, now it says read the dictionary entry for critical. How many definitions are there? So critical is the word, and then if you look here in these forward slashes, you can see ADJ, which is short for adjective. So the part of speech is an adjective. And there are 3 definitions. It says how many definitions are there? You can say there are 3 definitions. So let's read the definitions. The first definition is saying that someone or something is bad or wrong. Okay, so you might see this word critic in the word critical. And critic is a person who reviews something, like reviews a movie or food. And you might have seen some reviews from movie critics and food critics. And so those people talk about whether or not the movie or food is good or bad. So they talk about their opinions. So that's where we get the word critic. And then the second definition says giving opinions on books, films, or plays, films, etc. So we might say that actually, instead of saying critical, we normally use the word critique. So CRITIQUE. That is actually more common for this definition, number 2. So numbers 1 and 2, it's very common to use the word critic and critique, although those are nouns. So the word critical as an adjective can be used for critics or a critique, but I don't really hear it very often. It's actually much more common to use critical as definition number 3, very important or essential. Okay, and then you can also see the adverb form of this word, critically. Okay, so if you look at exercise 2, it says find the vocabulary in the reading. Underline the words. Find each word in a dictionary, and you can look it up online, of course. By the way, that's another phrasal verb. Look up. Look up. Okay, so I said look it up. So look up the word. Look it up. Okay, copy the part of speech and the definition that best fits the meaning. So if you look for critical, let's find it here. It says, everyone tells me that it's critical to network. So, of course, in this case, the part of speech is adjective and the definition is number 3, very important or essential. Okay. Now, I want you to do numbers 2 through 6 and pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay. So I'm not going to say all the definitions for each word because there are a lot. So I'm just going to describe the word briefly, and we're going to go over the parts of speech. Okay, so for number 2, network, let's find it in the article. You can see here it says it's critical to network. Okay, and 2 is a big hint, so we know that it's a verb. Network can also be a noun, as you know. So a network is like a web, and that's also kind of where we get the word internet from. It's a web. So a network can be a noun, but in this case, we must write verb. And the definition is to connect with other people, especially in your job field. Okay, and then number 3, fair. We can find it here. Today I went to a job fair at my college. So in this case, the part of speech is a noun. Okay, and you are probably familiar with fair as an adjective, like when your children say, "That's not fair." So that's a different definition. But for this article, fair means like a gathering of people. So as you know, we also have county fairs when people gather and have fun in their county, and there are often rides and food like popcorn and funnel cake. Those are a different kind of fair, but it's also a type of gathering. Okay, and then number 4, patient. We can see that here. He said, "I need to be patient." Okay, so patient is an adjective. And it means, in this case, to be willing to wait. Okay, now you might know another word, patient, or another definition, which is a noun, and it's patient in a hospital. Okay, so let's keep going. Number 5, firm. You can find that here, a firm handshake. Okay, so in this case, firm is an adjective, and it means like a solid, like not weak, but strong handshake. So that's really important when you have a job interview and you meet someone for the first time. You don't want to give a weak handshake. You want to give a firm, strong handshake. So it's an adjective. And of course, there are other meanings, and I'm going to mention just one other firm, and that is like a company. So you might say a law firm. So that's a law company where lawyers work. So that would be a noun, of course. And then number 6, confidence. If you look in the same blog post, you can see I answered her questions with confidence. And when a word ends with ence, then that's a big hint that it's a noun. So like maintenance, that also ends with ence. Sometimes words end with ance, like performance, that's ance, and those are all nouns. And as you know, confidence means like with I just lost my train of thought. But confidence means like bravery, and like it's the noun for the word confident. Okay, so you already know what that word means. Okay, so we are going to move on to exercise D. And actually, for this activity, you can just do it on your own. So what is your most critical goal right now? Like, what is your most important goal right now? Maybe it's to help your children complete their schoolwork. I know it's very difficult to balance your responsibilities and also helping your children. So maybe that's your most important goal at the moment. So just answer these questions on your own, and we will do lessons E and F next time. Okay, see you then.